As someone whose favorite Mario Kart game is MKDS, I'll just be upfront. The retro courses in this game were wasted. Many see this as fine because the DS Retro courses were largely seen as the worst batch of retros. I can't really disagree. Many of the choices were relatively simple courses, including a large amount of circuits and 2D tracks. Many GameCube tracks were also butchered in some way, and only one of the tracks was originally a Special Cup course. It practically served as a testing ground for future entries. But some of these courses were quite solid and deserve some more love in my opinion. What made them wasted though? Well, it's weird to explain, but it starts with MKDS's identity. Currently, the game serves as the middle child of the series that bridges the first four together with the recent four. Mario Kart DS was the last game to have manual mini-turbos, and as such, it was quite a bit harder to be great at driving than in the newer games. Yet I always still felt a much greater degree of control playing this game than the first four. Conversely, it was the first game to have retro tracks in the way we know it today, and the first game to have online races. But the online races also didn't feel completely modern in the same way that driving mechanics didn't feel completely retro. This might have been due to hardware limitations, but here's the reality. MKDS was an 8-player game, but online it was limited to 4-player races. All races were 100cc online, and online also had other limitations such as being unable to drag items. Perhaps the biggest crime though was that not every course was playable online. And it's not like they missed ones that people didn't care about, like they missed the highlights. For instance, 6 Nitro tracks were not playable online. This included Waluigi Pinball, Shroom Ridge, Tick-Tock Clock, Airship Fortress, Peach Gardens, and Bowser's Castle. It seemed that they really had struggles with moving obstacles online, because that is a common theme here amongst these tracks. On DK Pass as well, you could not destroy the snowballs with a star like in offline. So this is my working theory, it just sucks that this applies to most of the fan favorite courses in the game. The good news is that these courses will get their justice. The majority of them have been remade in Mario Kart 8 due to the Booster Pass, and Waluigi Pinball and Peach Gardens have been remade 3 times now between their original Retro Selection, Tour, and the Booster Course Pass. Only Bowser's Castle is yet to be remade, and I feel very good about its chances of being in Mario Kart 9. However, the retro courses in this game don't all share the same fate, because this was their returning game, not their debut. A pattern became clear in the games after Mario Kart DS that they wouldn't be reusing retro tracks. I think this is good for the most part because it ensured that all the courses would eventually have an opportunity to return. But this is unfortunate for people who were fans of Mario Kart DS Retro tracks, because these courses returned in the game that was pretty much the beta test for online Nintendo games, and 6 of the courses weren't even playable online. Nintendo fulfilled their obligation to bring back these courses as retros, their contract if you will. So this may have been it for many of them, which I find a little sad. However, there is now a glimmer of hope for all these tracks now. This is because ever since Mario Kart 8 launched on the Wii U, the series has been playing by new rules. DLC and 8U brought back some already used retros, including 2 from this game, and Tour just decided it can bring back anything at any time. However, I still think the biggest prize is getting into a console game where the content will be playable forever. But the Booster Course Pass is providing that opportunity, and some have even returned or are in prime position to do so in the near future. The good news is that this is all being done while many courses are still getting their first opportunity to return as well. So let's briefly cover all 16 DS Retros and give my thoughts on where they are today and how much I'd like to see them again. So let's start from the beginning, SNES Mario Circuit 1. As the first course in the series, it made for an obvious first retro track. It also has been in Tour, and I think that's a fitting conclusion for it. This track really doesn't need to take up any more space in games with limited spots for courses, as it is pretty bland in my eyes. N64 Moo Moo Farm. This course has been dormant since MKDS, though it probably is for the better. I kind of think that Trickable Monty Moles would make the track better in Mario Kart 8 than it was in the past, but believe me, that doesn't mean I'm particularly hoping to see it again. GBA Peach Circuit. This is one of my more liked opening courses, and it also has been dormant since MKDS. I heard it might have been data mined for Tour, and like MC1, I think that'd be a fitting conclusion for it. GC and Luigi Circuit. So this is also another opening course that hasn't been in a game since Mario Kart DS, which kind of surprises me, because it was the only retro track in the game to receive a special course intro theme, and for a beginner course, it is quite popular due to its gimmick. I'm not particularly praying to see it back, but it could be fun again in a future title. N64 Frap Snowland. Now this is one of the better retro tracks in this game, and personally, I always preferred it to its sequel, Sherbetland. This course was present in Tour, so it did get something, but it would be cool to see it again. GCN Baby Park. Now this is one of the 2 courses to come back again in the 8U DLC, and as such it's still in MK8 today. I would personally be fine if it never returned again. I think we've gotten enough of it, to be honest. N64 Choco Mountain. This course has probably been given some of the most justice of the DS Retros. It was an early addition to both Tour and the Booster Pass, and while not the most exciting course in 8, it works fine in the modern era. SNES Choco Island 2. This was very surprisingly the first track to be revealed in Mario Kart Tour, so it's been back there since the beginning. As one of the worst tracks in the game in my opinion, I'm more than fine with its second remake just being the Tour one, and I'm more than happy to see them give Choco Mountain the more dedicated remake treatment. GBA Sky Garden, perhaps the best DS Retro to me, this fan favorite was also brought back in Wave 1 to mixed reviews. It goes to show that a course being brought back might result in it being downgraded, but at least it was a standout course for MKDS Online, and at least they acknowledge it again. GCN Yoshi Circuit. So this 8U DLC course was the reveal that showed us that second remakes in the series were actually possible. Like Baby Park, it's still in Deluxe today as well as Tour, so not much additional work is really needed here. So you might have noticed I went out of order and excluded some tracks up to this point, and with Tour included, they've done a surprisingly good job of bringing back these courses. There were the 3 Shell Cup tracks that haven't seen the light of day since 2005, but these courses aren't really of the most exciting can't miss variety. MC1, CI2, and Frap Snowland also haven't been in a non-tour game for a while now, but these 6 courses are not the biggest losers. Sure, it would be nice to get to play Frap Snowland in a full 12-player online setting, but at the very least, these courses were Wi-Fi playable in MKDS. Some of the other retros weren't even afforded that opportunity, regardless of whether or not they'll ever get another chance again. So to close out this video, I want to focus on those 6. Starting with SNES Donut Plains 1, to be honest, I don't know what made this one non-playable online in the first place. Maybe they wanted a clean number such as 20 for online tracks, and they cut it since it was pretty uninteresting. Of course, it being uninteresting makes me not care as much about its fate, but at the very least, it got to be played online through Tour. GBA Bowser Castle 2. So this is where the crimes start to add up in my opinion. BC2 was one of my favorite retros in the game, and it's easily my favorite 2D BC level. So not getting it online kinda sucked in my mind. With all the ramps, I think it would feel fast and fun in Deluxe, but it seems that the chances of it returning are slim to none at this point. It did get in Tour, and the trick variant is one of the stages that actually got me hooked on playing that game again, but I really wish we could play this one on a console game again. SNES Koopa Beach 2, so this is pretty similar to Donut Plains 1. I think it's a little bit more interesting, but I largely don't care what happens to it and thought that its sequel, 64 Koopa Troopa Beach, was much more interesting. It got its time in Tour at least, so there's no huge pressing need to see it again in my opinion. GBA Luigi Circuit, so this course is quite nice, and one of the most forgotten tracks in the series now. I've heard it's data mined in Tour for now, so it'd be cool to see again. It is one of the more unique circuit tracks, and while I think it wouldn't be the best fit in Deluxe, it would be really cool to get to play it online, and it deserves another chance on my mind. I'm excited to hear that it might be coming to Tour soon. GCN Mushroom Bridge, so there is a little bit of a good ending to this video. A lot of people are annoyed by the recent reveal of this course in Tour, and I predicted it to be in Wave 5 with the booster pass before this reveal, and I feel pretty certain it will happen in return now. So is this the best course of all time? Well, no. It is pretty simple, and I could see how it could be flawed, but I'm personally looking forward to it. It never truly got the opportunity in the past, and a fresh coat of paint could do it wonders. I've never played this course online, and I think it could be interesting. You can go up the bridge again, unlike in DS, and item boxes might appear there with coins below. Item boxes might be moving on this course as well, we'll have to see. It appears to be simple but unique, and I can't wait to hear the new remix for the track. Despite it not being a first time retro, I can't be mad at it being here now, because it really never got this opportunity before. I know people wanted Mushroom City. Its time will come, guys. Do not worry. And well, that wraps things up. If GBA LC can just make it to Tour, I think all courses in the series will be online playable at least once, which is great. Wait. Yeah. Y'all didn't really think I'd forget, right? So yeah, this is the part of the real reason why I'm making this video. This course, man. My good friend is trapped in hell. And I don't want to hear it with 64 Wario Stadium either, because that will come back in the next game. But as of right now, Banshee Boardwalk is the most unfairly treated course in the Mario Kart franchise. Like, this is a well above average track in my opinion. This isn't some low tier stage like many of the ones that didn't make the cut into Smash Ultimate. This course was a DS Retro, debatably my favorite one. One of the 6 that wasn't Wi-Fi playable, one of the 2 to not make it into Tour later on, let alone Deluxe. The only one to not even be data mined. There's not been a new N64 course since Wave 2 of the Booster Pass where they decided to needlessly remake Calamari Desert again because train tracks. There will not be another one barring a miracle, and even if there is, it is more likely to just be Luigi Raceway, which is honestly a shame. This is a very unique course even compared against the rest of the series. It's a long version of the Ghost Valleys and Boo Lake. Without any major shortcuts, it is simply a test of being able to take tight racing lines, but the narrow pathways make it quite challenging, especially in MK64 and MKDS's engine. Thinking more on this track, there's a part of me that wonders if they aren't going to bring it back again just because it's a little creepy. Ghost levels have always been a staple of the Mario franchise, but this one was a little bit more eerie in my opinion. I've actually read stories that this course has been nightmares for some kids growing up. Weirdly, this didn't impact me, and trust me, I got scared of video games easily. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think that this DS Retro deserves a second chance in my mind, and hopefully it isn't forgotten to history. Maybe they'll bring back more than Mario Stadium in the next game and everything will truly be on the table again. But this is probably some copium. But I've got you all thinking about the track now, so my work here is done. Maybe, just maybe, we'll see it along many of these other courses again someday.